did the president have a point?
Well, first of all, there are issues that me and my good friend Biranga should go and have coffee and resolve. Because if you read the book Sowing the Mustard Seed by President Museveni, and I've read it twice, I seem to read between the lines that this regime has been surviving on loyalty. What other people would prefer to call patronage and cronyism. So, a guerrilla movement has transformed itself into a political party which is national. By the way, whether you like it or not, the NRM has the majority in the House, and it is now the main ruling party, and there is apparently nothing we can do about that. They should be having about 85% of the support of the members of parliament. So they can run the country the way they want with a very weakened opposition. So what you people call corruption in some circles, in other circles like of the Moses Biarangas, they would call it party loyalty and cronyism. So to them, much as to many actors like these corruption activists who would say that the 100 million advance to MPs is corruption, to them, they will not see it as corruption. They see it as a reward for being loyal to the party. So the question in political philosophy or in political science is, where is the money coming from? Where is that 40 billion coming from? I think we should address our minds. If the money is coming from the NRM Secretariat, then the question would still be, where is the money coming from the NRM Secretariat coming from? Then again, they will say, well, we have well-wishers and supporters, investors, multinationals, membership cards, people who contributed the money, so we can use it the way we want. So before we even go fast to start saying it is corruption, we must ask ourselves, is it taxpayers' money? Is it coming from the consolidated fund? If it is coming from the consolidated fund, then we can start discussing. So, secondly, during the time of Napoleon Bonaparte, there was a spirit of nationalism. What happened in Kyankwanzi in relation to Parliament Canary? I think and believe Uganda does not need patriotism now. The level of patriotism in Uganda, the electrolytes of patriotism in Uganda is heavily charged. I would suggest close to 98% of Ugandans are patriotic. So we don't need patriotism. What we need now, in my opinion, is nationalism. Patriotism, the country is at peace. In all the borders, from Kasese to Koboko, from Pade to Palisa, the country is at peace with itself. You drive at any time of the day or night and you don't meet any roadblock except for Uganda Revenue Authority, except for animals, for cows being carried here and there. You drive across the country peacefully. You need to travel to other countries like Burundi and have your own experience. Travel to many African countries. So I don't think we need patriotism. We only need to sustain patriotism at the levels we are in. Of course, the current version of patriotism, unfortunately to President Museveni, is loyalty. You have to be loyal to the party. That is when they say you are patriotic. That is why they have gone only to train the NRM who are loyal to the NRM, to the party. Those of us who are loyal to the country, we have no space in Kyankwanzi, which is a pity. So what the country needs now is nationalism, not patriotism, in my opinion. What does nationalism bring? Nationalism comes and say, why are you doing the Namuongo Road at 10 billion shillings? Why are you picking a bribe? You are a revenue official in URA. Why are you picking a bribe at the checkpoints? At the way bridge, at the way bridges in the country, you know what happens? You pay by mobile money in advance. By the time your car reaches there, they turn the cameras off. Instead of you paying 2 million for the loads you are carrying, you pay like 600,000. So now we need more of nationalism. We need, instead of IGG hurrying to Tororo Hospital and arresting the mortuary attendant, ordering arrest of people, we now need more of nationalism. How a worker in Mulago Hospital can be motivated to wake up at 8 and work up to 5 for a salary of 600,000. So what is going to destroy nationalism is awarding 40 million, is awarding 40 billion to the MPs. So they are more important human beings than us. They go and roll in the mud, jog with army uniforms, and come back home with 100 million. And people here are selling matoke leaves, sharpening knives. They are buying fuel 2 liters. They are driving cars to Mbarara. Unfortunately, Moses Biaranga does not have that experience. Some people, when they are going to the village, they have to turn off the engine in every slope to save fuel. So from here to Mbarara, I don't know whether you have counted how many valleys are there. Yeah, because you don't have the experience. So what I'm trying to say, the giving of 100 million to each MP destroys the spirit of nationalism. That is where, if you're a police officer somewhere, if you're a revenue officer somewhere, MPs are not special human beings. You also say, let me also eat mine, because they're also getting theirs. So the spirit of giving 100 million to each member of parliament is destroying the spirit of nationalism. So this government needs to be helped to distinguish between patriotism and nationalism.
Could you paint for us a picture of what corruption inside, away from these gifts being given to the MPs, inside the committees of parliament, like the president pointed out? Now, first of all, this 11th parliament, we had about 3 members of parliament who were arrested and underlined in court for soliciting for bribes from the Human Rights Commission to align their budget.
Now, we inside Parliament, of course, events has changed from the time I left in 2001. Where the skirmish they started, members of Parliament will not sign a committee report if they're not given money. The committee report is perfect. It is excellent. The recommendations are very clear. We made extensive consultations, but at the time of signing the report, they say, I will not sign. We will not sign. For example, let me give two examples. On the sugar bill, the multinational companies were arguing that between one sugar factory to another, there should be a distance of 50 kilometers, so that the outgrowers can sell what? There has to be territory, the licensing procedure, because if you have 20 sugar factories in one location, then someone who has invested in seedlings, what to outgrowers, someone benefits from you and go and sell to the other person. So they need the owner of the lorry to see the cost of losing money in fuel from here up to Luero, so they will sell to this person. But you'll find that it's true, money is changing hands. Some jaggeries, some small sugar mills who don't want to invest in farmers, they don't want the 50 kilometers, so they have to pump money to MPs so that they say 5 kilometer radius. So you'll find situations where committee reports are perfect. For example, that is related to sugar. There is a roads. Why is the road in Uganda side, if you go to Uganda border at Gatuna, in Uganda side per kilometer of road is 3.6 billion, and the Rwanda side per kilometer of road is 1.5 billion. Same terrain, same vegetation, same oxygen. Why is the Ugandan side of the road? So when the committee comes with their recommendations, you find that those who are benefiting from doing these wrong things, they move with money inside committees. So many a times the committees end up signing on the side where there is money involved. So that is the nature of the challenge for whichever area you touch. Foreign affairs, internal affairs, national infrastructure backbone. For example, why is the government relying on MTN? Why is the government relying on MAS to transport internet up country, yet we must dig the ground and take fast and reliable internet? So you'll find that the committee more often get compromised, and then they side with where there is money, and we end up passing a bad law. Occasionally you have, if the opposition was strong, you would have minority reports, and you will have Parliament of Uganda debating the minority report first, because that's what the rule says. You have to pay attention to the minority report, because most of the things in the minority reports, like those being presented by Mwanga Kivumbi and they are more important than what is in the main report. The main report is following money. The minority report usually have facts, but you find the minority report thrown away in the first 2 minutes. They even change the rules that the minority report is an annexure of the main report. So those of you who hate opposition, those of you who used to hate us, now this is now where opposition matters.
Are you saying that the opposition are the holy ones, that they do not take the bribes in committees?
And that's why there's a minority report, because it's very dangerous to have any law pass without a minority report. The moment everyone is thinking the same way, it means no one is thinking. So now this is where multipartism has to be empowered. And I want to thank President Museveni, because there are times he has paid attention to the minority report more than the majority report. I can talk of 2 instances. The cotton issue, he sided with the minority after calling the committee to State House. So that means Parliament is not doing what they should ordinarily do. So President Museveni pays attention both to the majority report and to the minority report. So this is about time that Ugandans should not start seeing members of opposition as enemies of the state, because if no one gives a dissenting opinion, you will continue making your roads at 3.6 billion a kilometer when Rwanda is doing the same road at 1.7 billion a kilometer.
Okay, before I move on to Moses, the pledges from the cohort, the new MPs that will form the 12th Parliament, where we are now ready to fight corruption. Do you have any expectations on whether they'll be able to dodge the temptations inside the committees of Parliament?
No, because they spend so much money. Some people spend up to 3 billion in the last elections, and they pay for an MP for 5 years is about 2 billion. So they have to find where they get the excess money. So the whole programming begins from the commercialization of our politics. But also Ugandans, be fair to MPs, because MPs earn 30 million a month. The minimum earns 26 million a month. So they also make their money. So when you see an MP genuinely earning salary, don't start saying that is corruption. The Speaker's office also has a salary attached to it. They also have allowances for that office, for travels abroad. So many people now don't even want to see an MP even driving a car. They start saying corruption. No, it is a paid job. Actually, if it were not a paid job, I would not opt for it. You should only pray that they pay you for doing what? Good work. So it is not charity. So let's also be fair. And you are the very people who are asking MPs money for funeral, money for school fees, money for bursaries, money for widows, money for orphans. So when you see government giving 100 million to each MP, because they know the pressure the MPs have, these MPs are heavily indebted. So that is part of reducing the pressure on them, in my opinion.
Okay, Moses.